This is nothing related with the main class. This is an extra class. There is someone here, or there are just the cameras. It's just connected and you forgot to disconnect.
We're here, Maria.
Okay, cool. Okay, okay. Let's do something. At least we can do yesterday homework if you don't have any questions.
I have no question about the yesterday's homework, but I have a question about today's homework.
Over there.
The buttons project.
Okay.
I was I was thinking about putting it in a table. Yeah, using table. But then Victor clarified that it's not table, it's something else. So I'm just trying to figure it out. What is it?
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
Yes.
Actually,
Go
we
go.
didn't talk about button at all today, and that's why I just confused.
Ah.
We learned a lot of things about CSS styling. It was good, but
Uh-huh.
about button, no, I think we
Okay.
didn't use
I
button.
think I can give you some hints, or we can do it together. Okay. I was just using this one. Yesterday, I told you that I tends to be in this case. I have problem with writing. I mean, I always need something to help me with writing because with my dyslexia, I always write very bad. Then I will just this tool. This tool is called Replit. Is basically like the same things at the other that you are using. Just that this one it has um, a little bit more help, so we can say, right? CodePen is so nice. CodePen is so nice, but the thing is, like, I don't have a in this case the autocomplete. In this one, I have it. That is helping me. I just wanted to ask you something. Yesterday, when we were finished the class, I told you something like there are elements that they are in line and there are elements that they are blocked. Did you cover that today or not yet? That means not.
Not
Okay,
yet.
I got it. Yes, I got it. I got it. Look, the thing is like this. When you are working, and let me show you something. Let's say that we create one H1 and I would say this is the header. And now I will create one H2. And this one I will say this is another header. If we have two elements, these two elements, and I save it, here I can use Control S and I can run this thing. I have two elements. Okay. Let me create one line. This is just a line that what I am doing over there, right? Is an horizontal line. I refresh it. Okay, I have one horizontal line. Let me add another element. Do you remember that yesterday someone asked me, hey Mario, what is that span thing? Let me show you now. There is something. And now I will add another one. Span. I will add another one. This is another one. Okay, I will save it and I will refresh it. What is the, let me add here something extra, just to see it, just to see it. Span, and I will just add one slash. Just I want you to see that there are the two, right? One slash and the other one, one little space here to see it more beautiful because, okay. See it like this. What is the difference between one and another one? Aside of the size of everything. What do you see over there? What is happening? Maybe with the position or something.
You said what's between what? Sorry.
Between these two, between the headers, and between this another one. That is why I add the line in order to have division between the one that are on the top and the one that are on the bottom.
Mm,
The
The one that
first
is on the
one,
top.
The headers are in hierarchy and the span is it's on the same row.
That's it.
So,
That
so there's no hierarchy.
it's not about hierarchy, but you were very close. That you are telling me they are in the same line. That means like some are blocks, and some in this case are in line. These are the how you could. There are plenty division in HTML, but the one of the most important is that there are elements that they are in line, and there are elements that they are blocked. The elements that they are in block that basically are this one, the divs, something. The other one that is in block is the paragraph, something. And I will just save it. Ah, okay, look, they are blocks. This is just very little information, but it's creating me a new line all the time. Now, between the inline elements, we have these guys, button, and I will say it, button 1, and let me create another 4 buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I will just add it 2, 3, and 4. And look what is going to happen. By default, the buttons are in line. And now something interesting. Look, the buttons are in line. That means like I have to put one after another one. We really don't need a table. Now I will show you something else. If you take these buttons, and you multiply them, I know I have a lot of buttons. What happened with the button when they arrive to the end of the line?
Mario, sorry, can you please say it again, your question?
Yes, what happened with the buttons arrive to the end of the line or to the end of the screen? What happened? For example, after button 2, if you are seeing here, I am not doing anything to make it go to the second line. But by default, they have something that is called flow. And the flow finish on the line and return to the line. Okay. If that is happening, let me just go over here. I will remove this part. How we can make something bigger with CSS? Like when I say bigger, is like the width is bigger. How we can add a bigger width to something?
So you said with CSS, we have to give him a style change.
Okay, let's go in this case to the button, the first button. I will say style.
And width, it's like
Oh.
100,
Width
50, 100
150. What?
AX pixels.
A pixel. Okay, I will save it, and I will do it over there. Okay. Now, how do you think that you will create the buttons? These 3 buttons that you have it in your screen. Let me remove this part here.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, in UX UI design, when you're working with Figma, for example, you have a thing that is called like after layout, and you can just make a one copy of a thing and then just copy it every time, and it's going to be an example for it. Can we do the same thing here? Like one, like father, for example, and then the rest of it, it's going to be their kids. So is it possible, or is it something that we should do individually for each button over here?
Oh, no, absolutely. You can do it in that way. But you will have to use a little. I mean, I am just showing you one solution. Is you can do that one. The only thing, like because you are going to apply to every child, right? You will have the
Mhm.
parents and you will go to the child. The
Mhm.
inconvenience is, if I am not mistaken, in that exercise, the last button is bigger. Then you will have
Yeah,
to use something that's called last child, something like
yeah.
that, and you can do it absolutely.
Okay. Okay. But how do we do that? That's the question.
Ah,
Well,
okay.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
if that's
Okay, in
okay.
this case, you will have to okay. Uh, I need to, because you know that I was not in your previous class and I still don't have all the information. You saw inline, and what else type of CSS you saw today specifically? Pectur, can you help me? Today you saw this inline, and what another one way to CSS you reviewed today?
Mario, I think so. I guess, yeah, in a sense, but you know, my English was very bad, and I'm
Давай, yeah, Russian, you can do it. Давай.
И ты спросил, какие способы есть использовать класс, style?
Yeah. Ага.
Ну, ты про 3 способа, которые можно сделать внутри HTML, сверху указать общий стайл, который
Okay, okay.
или про что
Ага.
спрашиваешь? Про это?
Ага.
И
Yeah.
отдельно создать CSS
Okay.
по разработке.
Страница.
We covered inline, embedded, and external.
Okay. Then thank you, Gina. You helped me a lot. Then that is the only thing that I needed. Then this one, this style CSS is already connected here. What
Mhm.
we can do is just you create a div, and this one will be the parent. This div that you have here, I will not solve it. Oh, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay. And we will have here the div. This div, oh, what it is? This div, and we have this div. This div will have something. For example, you can add a class, or you cannot even add it because the exercise is too little. Then you can just arrive, say, for example, style CSS, and you say div, and inside the div, you go to the button. And this one, they do have to the button, you can just go to the width, let's say 150 pixels. You can use different approach, but this one will be, in this case, one approach. Now, what you have to investigate is, in order to solve it, is how to add CSS to the last child of a selector. And this will be your, let's say, like your homework. I mean, I am telling you what to look for, okay? Then you will just need to use that one and you will solve it. That's it. But the only thing that you say is to the parent, that is the div, apply to the button, apply to the button. You give here wherever you want. Could be 150, could be, for example, I don't know, maybe in this case you have something like a 35% of, and in this case we have an inconvenience, then there you have it. And you will need to add some, in this case, to the last element. That there exists two options. One, you can add a class to the last button, or you can just look how to add CSS to the last child of a selector. Basically, you take that one, what I wrote over there, you go over here, you will find the solution in the first line of Google. But the idea is that you read a little bit. It's not funny if I give the solution right away, I think.
Can we give an ID to the last button and work?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
That is also will work 100%. And something that we have to know that I personally I like you to see it is, for example, here. Here, if you, I feel like you already open. Let me send you everybody my link. Everybody my link. Ta, 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 ta. Everybody can just open in this. If you open it, you will have like a right click, inspector, and let me just put it down. All the elements here, we have it. An HTML, if you see it, you have this extra into the body, you have this 8 pixel. I don't, they are coming by default. You can remove it if you want it. That is not inconvenient. Or sometimes you want to see, oh, how this thing will look like. Maybe I don't need to have it into div, okay? Div buttons, okay, 150. Well, maybe in this case, I wanted this one like a maybe 35%. 35%. Let's see how it's looking like. Okay, 35 is not good. Maybe it's 34. No. 33. No. 32. Oh no. 31. No. 30. And you can just go and looking for it. I mean, this is not changing your code. You are just seeing on the screen what's going on. And personally, I usually change my CSS when I need to do it. When I don't have the specific numbers for everything, then you go to the last one. Okay. This one, and you just say, okay, with 100%, for example, you already have it over there. Then you know that this width that you have here is the one that you will use in the class as I'm sorry, is Jana or is Shanar, right? If I pronounce it bad, forgive me. CHR is
Yes,
Shanar.
it's Janar.
Shanar. Okay, cool. Then you can do it like this. Then this 100%, you arrive it and you see, okay, this is the 100% that I needed. Then you just create this. Okay, so with okay, with 100%. Okay, where I will add it, let's call it last BTN. Okay. What is this? It's a class. Okay, it's a class. I save it. I arrive it. Inline, I don't need it. Inline, I don't need it. And I add it to my last button. And I say, okay, you, my dear friend, will need a class, and the class will be something like this. And we refresh it. Okay, let's see how it's looking in the big screen. We already know that 30% does pass, that doesn't pass. Then we go and we modify this one to 30%. This is not perfect. Remember that you have some other elements. Okay. Look, you still have a little bit over there.
Try 33.3.
Oh, 33.3. Oh, okay. Let's see. That you have it. You only will need to add, in this case, there's maybe some spaces, some height, some stuff like that that you will need to do it. Please play a little bit. The important is play. CSS, personally, I don't find it. I am not an expert in CSS. Actually, I don't like it that much. It's quite complicated, this thing, because the accumulation of code. But the important part here is which elements are in line and which elements are blocked. And you know these two things, you will understand it. By default, all the pages are responsive. How do you think is responsive? Okay, look, if you do it a smaller one, well, it's responsive. I mean, like, it's not as responsive as 100% as you would like, but in general, doesn't matter how you do it, we are creating. HTML tends to be responsive. We are the one that break it when we are using this 150 pixel. Then you are making something like a iron box, and you are putting it, and your browser say, okay, this has to be 150. I do it 150. And we break the responsiveness of the browser itself.
Марио,
Mhm.
почему button не может коснуться краев экрана? Там есть небольшое расстояние, которое не может.
Yes. Oh, that is very nice question. Let me answer you here. Okay. Look, if you see it, if you go to body, by default, you will find this 8 pixels.
It's but it's
Tho-
margin. Okay.
yes, because this 8 pixel, it was it's very funny because these are right. HTML was created by scientists, and the books by itself has 8 pixel. Not that one maybe was old rule or never 8 pixel of margin.
Yeah.
And the idea is to be like a book, and you have this one. We can remove it in this way. If you see it, margin. Oh, okay. Margin. There is something that is called normalization. And that is what you are looking for. Normalization, usually what we do it is we reset everything to 0. And we can use this is called a wildcard. That means like everything. I am getting I don't know, machine gun, and I started to throw everybody. And I say, you know what? Margin, everybody I wanted 0. Padding, I wanted everybody 0. And the other two, don't do it. Okay. And then if you do like this, and I go here, bye-bye. I am just saying everything that start with 0. And what I do is I am overwriting that 8 pixel. But those 8 pixel, they as an inheritance from HTML1 that we were in HTML1 didn't exist stylings. Because didn't exist, we needed a way that more or less gives some styling. That is why we have H1 is bigger, H2 is smaller, in line, in block, in those stuff, in breaks, paragraph, and they tend to behave very similar to the books in order to give you something readable, even though it's not perfect, right? But it's responsive. And that is why you have this that is not going Nakrael, because we have this 8 pixel that they are inherited from the past.
Oh, so Mario, I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yes.
So you said that for being responsive for these elements, do we need to use only percentage sign, or is there any? Because I know the EM, M or EM, VH, something like that units, which is more convenient or better to use in
That is a
CSS?
very yes, that is a very complicated question because EMs and REMs, right? There we have it, these two. Oh, I hate sometimes that everything is started to appear basically in Russian. The difference is how they inheritance, and the majority of the time, REMs like the root M and REMs, and this one is from the root, and this what are for the elements. The REMs tend to be zoom. I really will. I think like you will even have a class about this stuff. That is, the REMs tends to be, for example, the value of the root element is 100%. Then the rems is relative to the parent. Relative to the parent. If you ask me, I will always use m's. Why? Because the m's depend the element itself, and the rems are relatives. And like for example, if my parent is 16, let's say it like this, and the rem is 2 times, that side will be 32. That is the and in this case the m's, and this case will be basically like for example here, the m's are 18, then this one is 20, but this one is basically not changing. That is what we have it. I am not I really don't like to use rems, because that when you have elements that they are too deep into the tree, or they are like a too deep, you don't really have idea what is the size of that thing. Then I try to use or a specific that I needed, or I use in this case m's or ems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but
This one.
we'll learn about that more, right? About
Yeah, we have to. We have to. But I am telling you, I try to avoid these guys as much as I can.
Okay. So yeah, percentage, using a percentage is a better way to
It's
make
just
it more
easier.
responsive. Easier, okay.
Yes, it's easier. But if I will tell you something, in the real life, you just think where are my customer? My customer are in the telephone, in the tablet, and the computer. And I create those three CSS. I create one CSS for one, one CSS for two, and one CSS for the third one. Or usually now you just have the tablet and the computer. That is one that you take care. But think about if you are developing something for a TV. For example, if you are working in Netflix, then in that case, you have to think about 4K and all of those other stuff. It will depend on where are your customers. And there is something called responsive web design that you take in consideration exactly which display you will be using, and you code depending on those displays.
Is it, for example, if you're creating CSS for desktop, for computers, is it gonna be just enough to have one CSS kind of
Yeah.
sets?
Yeah.
Because so yeah, what if a screen is, for example, some laptops the screen is 13 and some laptops 24, I don't know. Is that gonna be the same CSS units used? Or no?
Yeah, because
Same?
usually in this case, think about usually it's not about the inches, but mostly about you can have a 16 inches, and at the very end have like a 1260 resolution, because the important is the resolution, no specifically the screen. The resolution give you
Okay.
how many points do you have in your screen. Then you usually say, I will give you one example. In the system that I work, we don't give a crap about about the telephones. The system
Okay.
is we just don't care. Look, this looks awful in the telephone. But it's because depending on the user that you are giving it. When you are when the project in this case is created, you think, okay, I will be working for this, I will working for this, and you will go. It's impossible basically to go to please everybody, but you try to please as much as possible from your customers.
Okay, so you're saying that your customers are not using the product from the mobile, so mostly from
No.
desktop.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's it. Okay. Something else, my dear friends? The question related with the buttons was a response. I can give it like a fast. I hope yes. Any other question? or anything that you would like right now? I don't know, George.
Mario, I want to ask something different. So, do you really use the HTML and CSS? I think you're not. Will use after getting job, even in the beginning of
I can show you my code just to do it. The majority of time I don't use it. I am using basically JavaScript all the time, but there are moments. But what is happening here? Look, I think someone asked me last time, do you create your own tabs? Yes, basically the majority of time I am creating my own in this case tags, the one that I am using it, then you finish creating that one in the, but at the very end, if you see all of this, I can just go and in my GitHub here, and for example, I can go and show you that it, if you see, we have this like a library of elements. This library of elements, if I enter, for example, here, I will just go and take this card and I will open it. These are the elements that we created and we use it. But inside these elements, you will always have divs. Here, look, I have a div. At the very end, the only thing that you do is compose these elements. You create your own elements, and then those elements you use it. But yes, you will use HTML and CSS all the time. Maybe in a little bit more. For example, here, look, this is CSS. Just is combined CSS with JavaScript in order to create the element itself. It's just looking in a different way. For I work in React and in the React way to do it. But at the very end, everything is HTML and CSS. The only thing that we do it is manipulate the elements using JavaScript.
So you just get the prepared HTML and CSS project, right? And you will just put the functions. You use, okay, got it. Do you use React and Redux? Like, what's your favorite library? What library do you use?
I will answer you that, but I think Kai has something to say it, but I will answer it yours. Yeah.
So yes, sorry, Victor. So CSS. How much CSS do you use inside your components? And do you have a separate CSS files, or everything is inside the component?
Even though I use a different way to use CSS, I still use the CSS into my components, into my files. I think like I can find here. I have look. I always try to finish using something that there are just the simple CSS. This is called modules. It's just a different way to use the CSS into the React, but you finish using the same. I mean, this thing doesn't change it. Maybe you make it a little bit more fancy, but CSS is CSS, HTML is HTML. If I go here, I can expect here to see maybe some buttons or some things. Let me see. I have a grid. Ah, look, I have a div. Just different, but it's the same. Don't think like because it's React or whichever. The basic are the basic, and you will always need it. You tend to do it less, but you always use it. It's not something. And I still suck in CSS after too many years. Then don't get don't get stressed. There are too many options, and sometimes there are people that they are very creative with the way to how they combine everything. I am not that much.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So, Mario, I asked about what libraries do you use usually?
I don't use Redux because the project that we are working is too big and Redux doesn't support us anymore. Then but I still using React. React, and if I need something to manipulate it, I use Context API that is like an inbuilt for Redux, but I am using mostly this GraphQL. That it also give you a very good cache, just different stuff, but
Is
nothing more.
are there libraries much difficult than like Redux or?
Okay, I will just tell you, there is nothing more difficult or more easier. More difficult or more easier will depend on two things. One is the quality of code that you want to write, and the second one will be how complex is the project. The project may not be that complex, then doesn't matter if you use whatever. I mean, everything will be, but the complexity will grow with the time. And as a new developer, I will never, I will expect someone new enter into the company, take them 1 year minimum to be in the same level as the other in the company. And I am talking about minimum. In the first 6 months, I will just check the code, try to do something, learn how we work, and do all those things. If that is for a quite medium company upper, if you are working in a small company, you will work with less complex project and you will have to do the more. But do more doesn't mean code more doesn't mean to do more. It's very circumstantial, that part.
I just actually, if honestly, I just don't know what to learn after 6 months. I know I have to repeat, I have to like improve my skills about React and Redux, but I have to learn about different things and I don't know what.
The basic that I will need it is this. Redux, maybe at least to know it. TypeScript. I teach TypeScript at the very end, but then we use Redux, TypeScript. What else do you know? You will need this. You will need to learn something like a React, CSS, maybe some libraries to as CSS, like a Tailwind or other stuff. That is the minimum. I mean, everything else it's just thing that you may or may not use depending on the project. Redux, why we teach Redux? I don't find it that needed anymore, but we teach it because there are many companies that tend to use Redux. Yeah. Because Context API can do everything that you needed in Redux. There are very little to think that Redux can do better than Context API. But here goes again the same story. This is opinionated. That means like I am telling you this, and another developer will say it this based on their experience. I suggest you hear everybody, but take what you think is good for you. Another good thing to do it is what I don't know what to learn. Okay, where do you live, Vector?
In Chicago.
Oh, in Chicago. Okay, in Chicago. Okay. Chicago. Okay, okay. I will say see something like a React developer. I will add, let's say like I want Chicago. Chicago. I will just add this one, and I will start soon like this. Okay, I don't know why this thing is React developer. Okay, here I will see. Okay, what I needed. I need React, TypeScript, React something something. That's it. As you
Yeah.
see, the majority of time you will just need these three things. Everything else is just going. That's
It's very
just how I
simple.
do it. Yeah. And then you will know what to learn. You learn what the people are looking for. But these three things are the thing that we have to learn. JavaScript, React, and TypeScript. If you see it, nobody will tell you, oh, okay, you need something else. Look, UI designer. Most word in EST. We know like he's a front-end developer, React. Then needs React. And that's it. I think this is the best way to do it. I will not apply to 8 years, but you can see here. You can see something. If you see something that say 8 years, they are looking for something for 4 years because they don't have the money to pay for 8 years developer. This salary Believe
Is
me, that
this
is
real
it's not
salary?
that. Yes, it's real.
Okay.
I mean, man, in the United States, the salaries are crazy. In Germany is a different thing. Look here, you are seeing 110.
Uh-huh.
I tell you that a year they have something a little bit more than they have because Germany is very different in this case. The salary we are never as crazy as that. United States is different. You have more. There is more money. A general salary here in Germany is around, even for a junior developer, around 50,000, something like that.
50,000. Oh, sad.
But life is very expensive here,
in
especially.
USD or in euro?
In euros, in euros.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's tax for in Germany?
The taxes are higher than in the United States. The good thing is I really have a lot of vacation. That is so cool. I have 7 weeks of paid vacation per year. Imagine 7 weeks. That means it's almost 2 months of vacation during the year. As I have like a 12 or 14 days off of the national staff. I never do overtime, pay leave. Like if I get sick, everything is covered. I mean, I don't have to be thinking about it. Life here is I don't have a lot of cash in my pocket, but I think the life is quite chill out. And I travel, I feed my family, I live well. I don't complain.
So can
That's
you work in
good.
any place? Can you just
Yeah.
move to another country? Wow, it's cool.
Yes,
Mario,
Kai?
so Webpack, can you just give an
Ah,
idea what's a
yeah.
Webpack and how do we need to use or know about that?
Okay. Maybe you need to know the Webpack is something that is a parser. Webpack is a parser. Parcel. What means is a parcel? If you see it here, I will just show you my code. If you see my code, this thing is not something that the computer will understand. Then it needs to pass in a process that is called parsing. This HTML, this VR info detail page needs to be converted into something that the browser can use it. And that is do it by in this case by Webpack. Webpack, Rollup, all Babel and all of those stuff. The only thing that they do is transform your source code into something that the web can understand. That at the very end, this all this thing gets transformed into HTML and CSS, and that is the work of these softwares. I don't use it at all. I think this one you do it when you start the project and you set up your environment, you set up everything, and then you just run it. Because here existed, for example, if I go here, there has to be installed somewhere. Like I don't even know which one. I have Babel. Yeah, I am not sure if
Is it
we use
is it just kind of dependency to install it and use it?
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and
You
then
don't need to know, just okay, install and use it.
look, here is Webpack. You just
Webpack,
install it
okay.
as a dependency, but you can make a little configuration and things like that. And there are people in DevOps that they know a lot. But as a front end, if I need it, I will Google it and I will work on it. But it's not more than that. It's
Okay.
just something that you install it doesn't suit your work, and bye bye.
Mario, sorry, are you able to show us this project in browser?
Yeah, it's here.
That's
I
interesting.
mean, yeah, it's this
A lot
one.
of folders and what is it in browser?
It's
These,
this one.
what is it, Alex?
Yeah, it's just a service that is managing like a product. For example, here I can manage my products. Inside the products, I am managing sub-products. The sub-products, they have variants. The variants, they have different prices variants. And the prices variant they are managing. Here we have, for example, categories, customers, orders, prices, discounts and products and all of those stuff. But this is just the front end that we have it. This is the management part where I work. But we have also the API part where there are payments and all of those stuff that they are managing. I think like we have like 100 different services that you can use it.
Wow. So how many people make this project? Or
700.
700
700.
people was
Yeah,
making this
700.
project? Wow.
We are already working in this project since 16 years. I mean, like this thing is old.
Wow, it's a big project.
Yeah, is quite big. I mean, we had to give support. For example, yesterday we were in a meeting that we had to support all the sales tickets for Taylor Swift, something like that. I think it's the singer. Yeah, and they have millions. Last time, I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago, we almost crashed it because in I think in France. It was supposed to have like in 1 hour, 10 millions order, but there were 25 millions in one
They
moment.
just-
And
Yeah.
Yeah, selling tickets in a few seconds for that.
yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, because the Black Friday in the United States with AT&T, we supported without a problem, but selling ticket, that thing kill us. I mean, I don't work in the APIs, but I was seeing the reports. It was crazy.
Mm.
So I just can relate. Is this project for the customers or for
For
employees?
companies.
For company? Okay.
Yeah, for the company, for the employer. The employer do it. How can I say? We are something that is called API first. What they do with the API, for example, if you go to Ticketmaster, if you go, for example, like a Ticketmaster, if you buy something in Ticketmaster, let's say like you want everything, they have their system, right? They have their system. But when you send all the information or when you get all the information, is for example, from this one, maybe the product in this case is the ticket for that thing, and they have different ticket, different prices, and they create all of those things here, and we manipulate that data. But the front end is there, how they manage it or how they do it on all of those stuff. We are just like an administration part. This one, I don't have idea how it's done. It's their stuff. That's it. I'm sorry, sometimes we Pavel tired. Any question related with this? I don't want to get boring or say something.
No, no more questions. Is it okay if we will leave?
Absolutely, anytime this
Awesome.
hour that's is extra. I mean, like I here stay who
Alright.
wants. Yeah, the 3 hours is the class, or my hour is just like what you needed, what you want to talk, to tell me, to ask, or do whatever. It's absolutely up to you.
All right. Thank you so much. It was very,
You're
very
welcome.
informative. See you next class.
Yeah, see you.
So Mario, how much SAS and less are used as a CSS?
Not much, honestly. Not much. But remember that SAS and less is just the way to use in this case HTML. They are just, let's call it frameworks, or that you are using it just to write less code. It's no more. For example, if for doing the same thing, but just with less code, that then later get transformed into the CSS. There is nothing more. For example, you have a card that is automatic and you have a card that is a standard. CSS is a standard. This SAS or less is automatic. You just write it, but nothing more.
So yeah, to use them just to install to your project and use a dependency?
Absolutely, because
Okay,
it's just a parser, no more.
oh, okay.
Some people think like it's like a language, but basically, like if you see, you can just say that SAS and CSS. And if you just go here, you can just see it. For example, this is SCSS or SAS, and this is CSS. You have the section class 1. Ah, look, section class 1. The thing is like you can put the CSS, combine it, and you will know, okay, section class button is the same as section class button. But it's looking like more logical, right? The way that you are doing. The
Oh.
button is inside the class and the class is inside the
Okay,
section.
okay, got it. Sorry, because I think Victor, you were asking, right? This, I think he's left now. So somebody was asking, is it possible to group so related elements, sorry, selectors in one? Okay, it's possible in SAS, but not in CSS. Got it. Okay, it's good to know.
That is the thing.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
You're
Mario.
welcome. And then you will have like another stuff like a and or just like you can add a little logic into your CSS. Ah, look, here you have and you can use some stuff. And less is almost the same. Just is another way to do it. Okay, here. I really do. Look at and you are creating like a subclasses with that information. I am not that proficient in this. I tend to use a little bit more SAS, but they are similar.
It means if you decide to use SAS, you only need to use SAS instead of CSS, right? Okay.
Well, you just depending on your priorities or
Mhm.
what you like more.
Okay.
Then we can just Stambekov, yes. I see you on microphone.
I have a question. Which tools for easier for new beginners? For example, Replit or CodePen?
Replit is easier for one reason, because what I like, you can just use this one just to paste your information. But the good thing is, for example, here, if I want to say, let's say button, then you have this autocomplete. That is the only difference between one and another one. The autocomplete helps. I mean, like sometimes I don't remember what I want to do it and it closes itself. The good thing about CodePen is because it's a little bit more difficult. You tend to remember more stuff. Nowadays, in 2024, I find it fine. I mean,
Okay, then
and you can
okay,
create
thank
here
you.
more files. Like for example, here you can create user.html. And you can create more file. That is something that you cannot create in CodePen. But honestly, a Replit is the same as your VS Code, and just VS Code.
Thank you for
Anytime, and please. I also happy if you want to know which is the secret to be a developer, ask questions. Doesn't matter if they are difficult or they are not difficult. As more questions as you ask, as better. Why? Because if I don't know what is your problem, I cannot solve it. And in your job, you will do the same. Never keep a question. Always ask it. In whatever other thing, always ask it. Whatever happens.
Yeah, because I'm new, I don't know how to use laptop too. That's why for me a
Yes,
little bit hard to understand
that is
how to
why.
coding right.
Then if it's hard for you to understand, ask more. And don't worry about the other ones that they are not asking or anything. If you have a doubt, make an instructor to
Mhm.
clarify you. Or if the instructor cannot clarify you, at least ask where can I find more information, and then you read it and you will do the look. This thing is not about to be smart or anything. It's about to be stubborn. They're like, okay, I will learn it. I will learn. With the time, you get it. It's like a language, right? For example, for me, when I arrived to learn Russian, it was very difficult. I was thinking that thing is, I will be stupid. After 3 years, I got it. I mean, it's just about time and repeat and repeat and repeat. You can learn
Yeah.
anything.
Okay. Thank you, Mario.
You're welcome. Okay, if there is nothing more, I will leave you away in this and I will start working. And I see you tomorrow in the extra class.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, see you
Thank you.
tomorrow. Have a
Thank
good day.
Thank you
You
so much.
too. You're
Bye.
welcome.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.